You are not weak because you walked away. You are wise. The world has conditioned you to believe that silence is surrender, that backing out means defeat, that you must fight back every time someone insults your dignity. But I am here to tell you the truth. It is not in noise where power lives. It is not in chaos where mastery is found. True strength, real control, is found in the man who can walk away in stillness while others burn with noise and guilt behind him. When you walk away quietly, without shouting, without defending yourself, without demanding that they see your worth, you turn their own actions into a mirror they cannot escape. Their guilt will speak louder than your voice ever could. And what eats people alive is not what you say to them. It's what they realize when you say nothing at all. Today, I will share 7 principles that will help you master the most powerful move of all, walking away with peace and letting their guilt do what your anger never could. 1. Your reaction is what they want. Don't give it to them. When someone tries to provoke you, whether they insult you, betray you, mock you, or play with your emotions, they're not doing it by accident. They know exactly what they're doing. They're looking for a response from you, something they can feed off of. They want you to get angry. They want you to raise your voice. They want to see you lose control, because the moment you react emotionally, you've given them what they wanted. Your power, you've handed it to them without even realizing it. Now they feel like they're in control, like they've won, simply because they managed to pull you into their drama. That's how manipulators operate. They push your buttons so they can watch you fall apart. They want you to say something you'll regret. They want to make you look unstable or weak. And when you react, you step right into their trap. But you can break that cycle. Instead of shouting, arguing, or proving yourself, stay calm, stay grounded. Don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you lose your balance. Walking away doesn't mean you've lost. It means you understand the game, and you've chosen not to play it. That takes more strength than fighting back ever could. You're not avoiding the battle. You're saying, this isn't worth my time. This isn't worth my peace. And when you leave their chaos in silence, you leave them standing in the middle of the mess they created with no one else to blame but themselves. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's power. You win not by reacting, but by refusing to participate in a battle that only drains your energy and steals your dignity. 2. Walking away is a mirror they can't escape. Most people think silence is just the absence of words. But the truth is, silence speaks. And when you walk away from someone without yelling, without explaining, without trying to prove your side of the story, you don't disappear. You become a mirror, a silent, still, powerful mirror. And that mirror shows them something they don't want to see, themselves. You see, when people hurt you, whether they lie to you, betray you, or treat you unfairly, they often do it to feel better about their own weakness. They convince themselves that it was your fault, that you deserved it, that you provoked it, and as long as you're still there, talking to them, defending yourself, or reacting to them, they feel justified. They use your reaction as a shield to protect themselves from guilt. But when you stop talking, when you stop showing up, when you stop defending what they already know is true deep inside, that shield disappears. Suddenly, there's nothing left for them to point fingers at. There's no noise to hide behind, no argument to focus on, just silence. And in that silence, they begin to hear their own conscience, loudly. This is the part people don't tell you. Walking away is not just about leaving the person behind. It's about leaving them alone with their actions. And those actions, when not covered by excuses or arguments, begin to sting. They start to replay what they did over and over. They begin to feel the weight of their decisions. They remember your kindness. They remember the way you stayed calm. They remember that you didn't beg, plead, or retaliate. You just left. And now, every quiet moment they sit with becomes heavier. Every flash of memory becomes sharper. Every peaceful step you take away becomes a storm they can't escape from. They may act like they don't care. They may pretend that your silence doesn't affect them. But believe me, it does. Silence is not invisible. It lingers. It echoes. And when it's the result of dignity and self-respect, it pierces deeper than any insult ever could. Because silence removes their ability to shift the blame. Now they're forced to look inward. And for people who live in denial, that's the most uncomfortable place to be. So remember this. When you walk away without reacting, without exploding, without putting on a show, you are not abandoning the situation. You are handing it back to them. You are saying, "This is not mine to carry. This is yours." And even if they don't admit it out loud, that quiet exit becomes a reflection they can't look away from. It becomes their teacher, their reminder, their consequence. Don't underestimate the power of walking away quietly, because while you heal in peace, they'll struggle in guilt, not because you punished them, but because they finally see what they did, and there's no one left to blame but the person in the mirror. 3. You are not there to heal their wounds. Let their guilt be their medicine. There's a painful trap that many good-hearted people fall into. You think that if you stay a little longer, explain a little more, love a little harder, they will finally change. You think your patience, your silence, your loyalty will heal them. That somehow, by suffering through their disrespect or manipulation, you are helping them become better. But let me tell you the truth with clarity. You are not their healer. You were never meant to carry their pain, their guilt, or their brokenness. That is not your burden. It is theirs. People who mistreat others are often deeply wounded themselves. They lie, blame, mock, or betray, not because you are weak, but because they are hurting. And hurting people will often lash out at those who stand closest to them. They want you to fix what they refuse to face. They want you to carry the guilt they're too ashamed to admit. So they shift the blame. They twist your words. They minimize your pain. And the longer you stay, the more you absorb what was never meant for you. You may think that your silence is helping them grow, that your endurance is noble, but real healing never happens through avoidance. It happens when consequences are faced, when truth is felt. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do for someone who has hurt you is to leave, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with grace and finality. Because walking away gives them something that staying never could. Space. Space to reflect. Space to feel the absence of what they once took for granted. Space to recognize what they lost. And most importantly, space to confront the truth they've been running from. That their actions have consequences. That they can't hurt people forever and still expect love to wait at the door. When you quietly walk away, you are not punishing them. You are no longer protecting them from the pain they need to feel. And that pain, the guilt, the regret, the loneliness that follows your exit, that becomes their medicine. It becomes the thing they never wanted to face, but now must deal with, without you softening the blow, without you defending their behavior, without you standing in the way of their growth. And while they sit in that silence, trying to understand how someone who once stayed through so much could now be completely gone, they begin to realize it wasn't that you stopped caring, it was that you finally started caring for yourself. Let their guilt rise. Let their thoughts echo. Let the weight of your absence teach them what your presence never could. You are not their cure. You are your own protector. You are not responsible for fixing what they refuse to admit is broken. Your job is not to sacrifice yourself hoping they'll wake up. Your job is to walk with dignity, to protect your peace, and to trust that the silence you leave behind will do what your words never could. Let them sit with it. Let their guilt become their turning point. And you walk on, you heal, you grow, you rise. 4. Silence is not weakness. It's power in its purest form. Many people have been conditioned to believe that if you're not loud, you're not strong. That if you're not shouting back, defending yourself, or matching someone's aggression with your own, you must be weak. But that belief is not rooted in truth. It's rooted in ego, in insecurity, in the illusion that noise equals power. Real power doesn't need to announce itself. Real strength is not found in how high your voice gets, but in how still you can remain when someone is trying to shake you. Silence, when it comes from inner peace, is one of the strongest forces in the world. Because it's not passive. It's not about giving up or being afraid to speak. It's about choosing not to waste your energy on something beneath your level. When someone tries to trigger you with disrespect or hatred and you remain silent, not because you're scared, but because you're centered, you are showing them who truly holds the power. The one who reacts wildly is like a leaf in the wind, tossed by every breeze of emotion. But the one who remains still is like a mountain, grounded, unmovable, untouchable, and people don't know what to do with that kind of presence. They expect an argument. They expect you to fight back. They want to trap you in the same chaos they carry within themselves. But when you say nothing, when you look at them with calm eyes and walk away without explanation, they feel something they didn't expect: defeat. Not because you overpowered them, but because you didn't even need to. Silence in the face of provocation makes the other person feel small, not because you tried to make them feel that way, but because your self-control reveals the emptiness of their behavior. You don't need to expose their lies. They expose themselves when you refuse to react. You don't need to scream about your worth. Your peace proves it without a word. And here's the beauty of true silence. It cannot be misunderstood. It doesn't twist words or spark new fights. It ends the conversation without ever starting one. It protects your dignity. It keeps your energy clean. And it sends a message louder than any voice can speak. You don't have the power to move me. But let me be clear, this silence I'm talking about is not the silence of fear. It is not the silence of surrender. It is the silence of a warrior who knows the battlefield is not worth stepping onto. It is the silence of a mind that has been trained, a spirit that has been sharpened, a soul that no longer dances for approval or stoops to pettiness. So next time someone tries to provoke you, to drag you down, to twist your peace into conflict, don't raise your voice. Raise your standards. Let your silence say, "I will not play this game. I am not here to match your noise. I am here to protect my power." And then walk away. Because in that moment, your silence becomes a roar they'll never forget. 5. Let life punish them. You just exit the stage. One of the most common mistakes people make when they're hurt is believing they need to deliver the punishment, that they need to make the other person understand, feel the pain, regret their actions, or finally admit what they did wrong. It's a natural instinct. When someone betrays you, disrespects you, or plays with your loyalty, a fire lights up inside you. That fire wants justice. It wants revenge. It wants to force an apology. It wants to expose their lies. And that fire can be intoxicating because you think that if they just admit it, if they just feel it, you'll finally be free. But here's the truth. You don't have to destroy them to heal yourself. You don't have to drag them down to rise. You don't have to teach them a lesson for life to teach it better. When someone treats you poorly, lies to you, or breaks your trust, leave them with the one teacher they can't run from: life. Life doesn't lie. Life doesn't forget. Life knows exactly when and how to return what was given. You may not be around to see it, and that's okay, because your healing does not require their suffering. Your freedom doesn't need their confession. When you walk away, your part in their story ends, but their journey with the truth is just beginning. And that truth, it's heavy. It doesn't need your voice to echo. It doesn't need your hands to push. It doesn't need your anger to accelerate. It just waits. And then it hits when they least expect it. You see, when you try to get revenge, you stay tied to them. When you keep talking about them, arguing with them, exposing them, you stay emotionally attached. And that connection keeps you stuck in the past. It steals your peace. But when you walk away silently, when you let go without needing to see them fall, you cut the rope. You say, "I won't carry your mistakes anymore. I won't stand in your shadow just to prove a point. I am done." And in doing so, you rise. Let them wonder. Let them replay the memories in their mind. Let them face the silence where your voice used to be. Because silence is not empty, it's full of consequences. And guilt is not loud. It's quiet, slow, suffocating. They won't admit it. They might even pretend they've moved on. But deep down, they will feel it. One day, when they're alone, when the crowd is gone, when the mask falls off, that's when truth shows up with no warning. And that's when life delivers what you never had to. You're not responsible for making someone feel guilty. You're only responsible for protecting your peace. So walk away, not as a victim, not as someone who lost, but as someone who understands that real power doesn't destroy others. It simply removes itself, because the one who truly hurt you already carries the seed of punishment within themselves, their own guilt, their own conscience, their own karma. And you don't have to watch it unfold. You don't have to hope they'll suffer. You don't have to wait for closure. You just close the door, lock your peace in, and keep walking. Because life always finds a way to balance what people try to get away with. And your silence is what allows justice to echo the loudest. 6. Walking away means reclaiming your energy and your future. There comes a point in your life where you must make a powerful decision. Not out of anger, not out of pride, but out of wisdom. And that decision is to stop giving your energy to things, people, and situations that drain your peace. Because your energy is your life. It fuels your thoughts. It builds your focus. It shapes your reality. And the more time you spend trying to explain yourself to people who don't listen, trying to prove your worth to people who don't see it, or trying to fix things that were never yours to fix, the more you lose pieces of yourself in the process. When you walk away from what no longer serves you, you're not just letting go of pain, you are taking your power back. You are no longer chasing their approval, their understanding, or their apology. You are no longer sitting in the same conversations hoping someone will finally understand you. Instead, you are choosing to protect what's sacred inside you, your clarity, your dignity, your peace of mind. That's not abandonment. That's not weakness. That is emotional intelligence in motion. That is self-mastery. Understand this clearly. People who continue to disrespect you do so because they know you will stay. They know you will tolerate it. They know you will come back and keep giving your energy even after they've shown you they don't value it. But when you walk away, not with rage, not with drama, but with calm certainty, you break the cycle. You send a silent message that says, "I'm no longer available for this." And that message echoes louder than any speech you could give. You are not required to keep showing up for people who constantly disappoint you. You are not obligated to keep explaining yourself to people who twist your words. And you don't have to keep proving your heart to people who treat it like it's disposable. There is no nobility in staying where you are shrinking. There is no virtue in remaining in places that bury your light. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to choose peace, even if it makes others uncomfortable. Because walking away isn't just about leaving something toxic behind. It's about walking into something better, something lighter, something more aligned with the person you're becoming. When you choose your peace, you make space for new energy. You invite better people. You see clearer opportunities. You begin to breathe again. And you begin to grow into someone who no longer survives chaos, but creates calm. And no, not everyone will understand why you left. Not everyone will respect your silence. Some will call you cold. Others will call you weak. Let them. Let them misunderstand you. Let them paint whatever picture they need to soothe their guilt. Because you don't walk away to be understood. You walk away to protect your future. Imagine a warrior in training. Would he waste time explaining to those who laugh at him while he sharpens his sword? Number, he stays focused, he keeps his silence, because he knows what he's building is not for the doubters, it's for himself. That's you. Every time you walk away from chaos, you step deeper into your power. Every time you stay quiet instead of reacting, you strengthen your discipline. Every time you protect your peace, you reclaim your future. So don't look back. Don't wait for validation. Don't pause for applause. Keep walking forward, not with hate, not with pride, but with pure intention and unshakable peace. Because the moment you start choosing peace over people, growth over guilt, clarity over confusion, that's when you stop surviving life and you start mastering it. 7. Their guilt will grow, but you must keep walking. There is a moment after you walk away when everything goes quiet. The chaos you left behind begins to dissolve. The arguments end, the shouting fades, the drama dies down. But inside them, inside the person who wronged you, disrespected you, pushed you to your limit, something begins to rise. Slowly, quietly, relentlessly. It is guilt, the kind of guilt that doesn't show up right away, the kind that waits until they're alone, until the room is quiet, until the noise of their pride no longer drowns out the truth. You may not see it. They may not show it. In fact, many will pretend they feel nothing at all. They'll act like your absence means nothing. They'll laugh louder, post more, surround themselves with distractions, and tell everyone they're fine. But guilt has patience. It does not strike in the moment. It lingers, and it grows in the silence you left behind. While you walk forward into peace, they stay behind with the weight of their choices, the things they said, the way they treated you, the love they took for granted, the loyalty they ignored, the pain they caused but never acknowledged. They remember it, not all at once, but in waves, in small, quiet moments. A certain song, a phrase you once said, the way you used to care. The absence of your presence becomes its own kind of punishment. And this time, they can't argue with it. There's no more conflict to hide behind, no more reaction to provoke, no more debate to twist, just the haunting realization you're gone, not because you didn't care, but because you finally did, for yourself. And that kind of exit is unforgettable. You see, your presence was a gift. Your patience was a shield. Your silence was protection. But they didn't see it until it vanished. That's how human nature often works. We only understand the value of something when we can no longer touch it. And now, your absence is louder than your voice ever was, because what's missing isn't just your body, it's your energy, your calm, your loyalty, your light. But here's what you need to understand, and this part is critical. Their guilt is not your responsibility. Their regret is not your business. Their awakening, their apology, their remorse, none of it is your burden to carry. You didn't walk away so they would feel pain. You walked away because you were done carrying theirs. You may be tempted someday to look back, to check in, to wonder if they've changed, to see if they finally realize what they lost. That temptation is human, but it is also a trap, because the longer you look back, the more you risk getting pulled into the same energy you fought so hard to escape. The more you reopen wounds that were already healing, the more you tie your future to a past that can no longer serve you. You are not responsible for their growth. You are responsible for your direction. You didn't leave to hurt them. You left to save yourself. And you must continue walking, not for revenge, not for pride, but for freedom. Freedom from explaining yourself to people who never listened. Freedom from needing closure that will never be honest. Freedom from cycles that steal your joy and call it loyalty. You must keep walking, not because they don't matter, but because you finally do. And the more distance you put between yourself and the chaos, the more clearly you'll see your own worth. The more you protect your peace, the more magnetic you become. The more you respect your silence, the more powerful your presence becomes. And the more you walk into your purpose, the more you realize that not everyone is meant to come with you. Their guilt may eat at them for years. They may hide it, bury it, run from it. But one day it will catch up. Not because you forced it to, but because the truth always finds its way home. And when it does, they will remember how quietly you walked away, how gracefully you let go, how fiercely you chose yourself. So don't wait for their apology. Don't pause for their recognition. Don't lose yourself waiting for someone else to find their conscience. Just keep walking. Let their guilt grow in the silence you left behind. And let your peace grow in the future you're building without them. Because you didn't walk away to be remembered. You walked away to be reborn. Let me leave you with this truth. There is more strength in your stillness than in any storm you could create. You do not need to fight battles that drain you. You do not need to scream to be heard or bleed to be seen. When someone tries to provoke you, disrespect you, manipulate your peace, do not give them your energy. Give them your silence. Give them your absence. Give them the weight of their own actions. Because silence is not surrender, it is a statement. It says, I see exactly who you are and I value myself too much to stay in your chaos. Walking away does not mean you lost. It means you understood your worth. It means you stopped waiting for them to become better and chose to become better yourself. And when you walk away with grace, when you leave without revenge, without hate, without noise, you don't disappear, you rise. Let their guilt be their teacher. Let your peace be your revenge. Let the silence you leave behind echo louder than any argument you could have made. And most of all, let your journey forward speak for you. Speak with your transformation. Speak with your healing. Speak with your unshakable presence. Be still like water, but strong like the ocean. Move when it is time. Flow where you are called. And when needed, walk away quietly. And let the weight of your absence say what your words no longer need to. That is how a master walks. That is how you become untouchable. That is how they remember you forever.